6 theories about Yellowstone's upcoming shows that make me excited for the future of Taylor Sheridan's franchise. There are some pretty plausible theories about Taylor Sheridan's upcoming Yellowstone shows worth getting excited about. After the series finale of 1923, 5 different offshoots of the original Yellowstone have been teased at one time or another. The Madison, 1944, 6666, and Beth, Kelly Riley, and Case Dutton's Luke Grimes, respective spin-offs of the flagship Yellowstone series. In 1923's series finale, Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklenar, returns to the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, defending his Aunt Cara, Helen Mirren, and Uncle Jacob's, Harrison Ford, homestead before subsuming control of the family's legacy. Now that the 1923 Dutton family has their war with Banner Creighton, Jerome Flynn, and Donald Whitfield, Timothy Dalton, behind them, Yellowstone audiences can begin to wonder what's next for Spencer in 1944. Only one of Taylor Sheridan's upcoming series will be a prequel, making a nice addition to 1883 and 1923. The vast majority of new Yellowstone shows will build on the modern neo-Western saga that Kevin Costner's Yellowstone series started. Coming offshoots will, to varying degrees, continue to build on the story of John Dutton's family and their connections in Montana and Texas, as these theories suggest. After 1923's finale, some Yellowstone fans believe that Elizabeth Strafford's Michelle Randolph descendants will emerge in the Madison. The show will exist in the modern era, in the same Montana that Beth and Case Dutton live in after their father's death. The Madison story will follow Michelle Pfeiffer as Stacy Cliburn, who moves from New York to Montana with her family after the death of their patriarch. Elizabeth's story is left open-ended in 1923's finale after the death of her husband, Jack Dutton, Darren Mann, causes her to leave the Yellowstone Ranch. Elizabeth's ending means her descendants can emerge in another Taylor Sheridan show. Elizabeth is an East Coast city girl, preferring hubs like Boston and New York City to Bozeman. That trait caused many to believe the Cliburns are Elizabeth's kin, returning to Montana a century later. After she died in 1923's finale, Alex Dutton could potentially return in 1944 to narrate the next Yellowstone story. Spencer's older sister, Elsa Dutton, Isabel Mary, has narrated 1883 and 1923, and has a brief monologue in the Yellowstone series finale. Elsa died at the end of 1883, and she continues narrating the Dutton story after her death, establishing Elsa Dutton's omniscient, ethereal presence in the franchise. After Elsa's death, she returned as 1923's narrator, explaining what had happened in the last 40 years. It checked out that Elsa returned in 1923, but she has a less robust connection to 1944's story. That said, Alex Dutton could return to Yellowstone after 1923's finale, which established an otherworldly connection between her and Spencer. Alex could return in 1944 to guide her husband as a sort of spirit, or to narrate the new series instead of Elsa. In Yellowstone Season 4, Episode 9, John Dutton tells Jimmy, Jefferson White, that his grandfather lost a leg, remarking that the worst pain his ancestor ever felt was in his toes after his limb was gone, calling the sensation phantom pain. After Spencer and Alex named their baby John in 1923's finale, it has led many to believe their child is John Dutton too, and Spencer is John Dutton IE's grandfather. If Spencer is John Dutton's grandfather, then that means he lost a leg, and the development could definitely happen in the next Yellowstone prequel. Taylor Sheridan set Spencer Dutton up as a May 1944 character in 1923's finale, and many Yellowstone fans believe, though Costner doesn't say it explicitly, that Spencer loses his leg in battle. Considering that 1944 will pick up amid the events of World War II, it's quite possible that Spencer could lose his leg if he returns to fight for his country again. Spencer fought in the Great War, earning a Medal of Honor, and so it checks out that Spencer would volunteer to serve his country again. While amputations were less common in World War II than in the Civil War or World War I, this theory is still quite possible. The buzz about Beth and Rip Wheeler's Cole Hauser spin-off is that the Yellowstone power couple's offshoot will resemble what would have been Yellowstone Season 6. After Kevin Costner's Yellowstone exit, many wondered who would take over, and most presumed Riley and Hauser would lead Yellowstone post-Costner. While it's true that they will carry on the Yellowstone story, Beth and Rip's continuation will happen in a dedicated series. While their story will doubtlessly look a bit different from the original, Beth and Rip series will have the most crossover with Yellowstone. A report from Puck said that Beth and Rip's show was looking to cast a Kevin Costner-type character, further suggesting their story would resemble the original series. Therefore, Beth and Rip's spinoff will be the best Yellowstone show to tune into for those missing the original series, or at least that's how the theory goes. Case Dutton's story will also continue outside Yellowstone. John Dutton's youngest son had a satisfying conclusion in Yellowstone Season 5, selling his family's land to the Broken Rock tribe. As such, Case retired from his position as livestock commissioner, throwing his badge into a field at East Camp. However, the announcement that Case Dutton's Yellowstone continuation on CBS will be a procedural makes me think that John's son will be investigating in some capacity. That said, I think I know what Case Dutton's CBS show is about. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 3, Case asks Thomas Rainwater, Gil Birmingham, for a job. Thomas refuses for good reason. However, Mo Brings Plenty tells Case he could become an investigator for the Montana Department of Justice. Since Yellowstone doesn't follow up on the prospect in Season 5, I think it will come back around and be the basis for Case's new show. Few developments about Yellowstone's Texas-based spin-off exist, but there are plenty of hints about what to expect. Yellowstone set up multiple Dutton Ranch cowboys to appear in 6666, teasing that Taylor Sheridan would fill out the cast with fan favorites. Jimmy Herdstrom, Jefferson White, moved to Texas to work with Taylor Sheridan's Travis Wheatley character at the Bosque Ranch in Yellowstone Season 4, eventually relocating there. It's safe to say Jimmy will return in 6666 after Yellowstone Season 4. Season 5 also set up several ranch hands to emerge in the Lone Star State. Teeter, Jennifer Landon, moves to Texas to work alongside Wheatley, meaning she, too, could spearhead 6666 cast. Walker, Ryan Bingham, also hits the road, suggesting he might meet up with others in Texas. Considering Walker is a fan of his home state, we could see him returning to Yellowstone in 6666 cast, too.